Hello, my banyan girls.
How are we all doing?
Good, good.
We are officially starting now. So, this is technically episode 1. And we are all very excited. We are all very pumped, I hope.
Yes.
We all thought that it would be nice to kind of go back to where we've come from, our childhood, everything, what makes us, what makes us just us. And this is from a time when we hadn't met because we did actually meet 8 years ago.
Okay. Things I never knew about all of you.
Yes. I think that it'll be fun.
Super fun. Okay, let's go.
Okay, so I want to start with the most basic question, and that is like, where did you grow up? So, start.
I grew up in Delhi. I come from West Delhi. There's a place called Harinagar Ghanta Ghar.
Yes.
I specifically call that out because it's close to me. It's close to my part of my childhood memories.
So, Delhi girl.
Yes. Very very Delhi girl.
So, I grew up in Bombay. And all my life, I was born in Delhi. So, all my life, till just a few years ago, I've spent my entire time arguing about Bombay versus Delhi. That's like my whole personality. Bombay versus Delhi.
You can't get over that.
Yeah, can't get over it. It's the hardest adjustment to be a Bombay girl that lives in Delhi.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure.
Does it still feel hard?
No,
Exactly.
Now that you have us.
now that I have
Yeah.
you. Yes.
I'm a Delhi girl. Fully Delhi girl. School, college, everything. I am full Delhi. That's it. So, growing up, what did your home feel like?
I think I would describe my relationship with my family as like a love and hate relationship. Like, and I say that because when there is so much of love with among your like parents and your siblings, there is bound to be like arguments. So my family is very very argumentative. Like everybody has their own head and they're headstrong, each of them, my brother, my mom and dad, me. So when there is a fight, which is most of the time there would be a fight on things, we would just go on top of our voices and just like ride it out completely. But also I am grateful as a human being that I had that opportunity as a kid to present my opinions and to come from a POV on things on life, and there would always be like a fair listening given to it. So that's why I call it like love and hate, because that goes hand in hand. And that's one thing about my family that I can call out like very very precisely. What about you, Ananya?
So for me, I think growing up, all my friends and us, we had a tagline for our house, which was never a dull day in the Suri household. It's a little bit like what you said, but it's also because all my friends would always come over and my dad and mom would cook. There was always enough food for everybody, and everyone would sit by the dining table and we could talk about anything. It was always very dramatic, lots of jokes, a lot of talking about things that maybe we shouldn't have been talking about, a lot of pranking one another, a lot of drama. So it's just never been a dull day.
Yeah, but it still happens because every time I visit, I think I'm very very entertained the entire time because uncle's always like telling me a new story the entire time, which is like amazing. I love to chill with your dad.
It is high energy,
Yeah.
it is raw,
Yeah.
bold.
Yeah.
It's never a dull day.
Yeah.
And you?
Chaotic.
Really?
Favorite word.
Clearly.
Yeah, so joint family, lots of people in the house,
Yeah.
only daughter amongst like 3 brothers. Of course, like 2 were cousins, one's my real.
Yeah.
But like full family, bade papa, taiji, mummy, papa, bhaiya, maids, ye wo, sab kuch, and it was just a bit much. Like lots of growing up was like mix of everything, mix of arguments and mix of fun and like constant rivalries amongst the brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
I mean, thankfully never between my own brother and me, but like yes, with the cousins and like yeah, like the same old stuff that you see on like Hindi serials probably or like whatever. It was the same mix of it all. And
Kahani
yeah,
Ghar Ki.
Kahani
कहानी
Ghar
घर
Ki.
घर
हाँ,
के
same.
हम
So,
साथ साथ हैं और कहानी घर घर
घर
की.
घर की.
it was a mix. So yeah, but like I love the idea of a nuclear family, just so you know. For me.
Would you ever consider a joint family setup?
Never.
Oh, I was in a joint family setup.
And would you
Like, there
consider
would be
it
10
modern
people
day?
living in
Yeah,
house, like,
Same.
Yeah.
But like no, not at this point of time in my life. I think I have changed.
I think that concept is now just outdated. I think it's just unheard of, and like even if I refer to some of the friends' families,
Yeah.
everybody just grows up and they venture out, and then there's one place to come back to, but then there's not at like a given period of time that everybody stays together. Like it's just like always going in and out of those situations.
So today I feel like because we've moved from joint families to nuclear families, I feel like there is a need for some kind of community living though. Because there
Definitely.
is, I feel like the nuclear family is not self-sustaining.
Yeah.
It's too much pressure on just the heteronormative male, female, children. It's not enough. It takes a village, and a village is not a nuclear family. So, okay, not joint family, not this, but then what is that gap in the middle? And I feel like there has to be this new age community living.
Yeah.
I wish we had more space, get a compound, all of us have like our individual houses, live close by. That
Right.
would be such a dream.
Yeah, like it was the dream when we were all living in the same condo,
Yeah.
and then life happened, and we are all now like staying in different places. But that time, I really miss it.
Yeah.
We were like a stone throw away from
Yeah.
each other, and that's how we bonded and everything. And that was the whole idea. That's how we became family.
Looking
like-
at each other from our balconies.
I was the spy. I
you
was
were
the
the
spy.
spy.
I
You were
missed
the
that
spy.
time when I could look into your windows and like call and say.
She is so creepy.
It's very mohalle ki didi wala behavior.
The only thing I didn't have was a pair of binoculars,
Yeah.
which I almost bought during COVID because there was nothing to do.
Yeah. But Gaurav is leaving for a flight, and Sakshi would message me saying, "Oh, I see Gaurav's leaving for work." She was such a spy.
Creep.
You're a creep. You're an absolute creep. But I will say that I do feel like it fills a void that is very much present in the lives we live today.
Right.
That's true.
Okay, let's do the next question. This one's a personal favorite. Who or what shaped your sense of right and wrong?
Yeah, so same, but I feel like it was me, entirely me, because you could have like multiple role models through your life growing up. Like things could change dramatically as and when, but I feel for me it's just I have shaped my own path.
Yeah.
And of course I have had like family and friends who have influenced my decisions.
Yeah.
But like what's right and what's wrong, the definition has really changed over time, and it's still continuing to change. So that's what it is. It's me.
Yeah, I mean, mostly I would say it's me, but I think, yeah, all the things that I knew were wrong were majorly also came from the family.
Yeah.
But now that I'm grown up, it's you have more appetite to include more people and more mature, like from a very mature POV, like you grow that appetite over years to understand different perceptions of what is right and wrong, and that's exactly what is happening now.
You can educate yourself now. Like,
Yeah.
there are more resources. It doesn't have to be down to just you. There are ways to learn about things.
Yeah. Like example, like I have started, for example, like I have started seeing my parents from a very different, lens. Like, majority of the young age went on like, thinking and like fighting with yourself, that include them and then do not include them, that conundrum, that dissonance in the mind. But eventually when you just like go through that tussle and of life where you are figuring out yourself first, and the moment you realize that you've figured yourself out completely, you start reconnecting and you start like re-nourishing those relationships. So yeah, that's what happens. And
I think I've reflected on this a lot actually. I think my biggest critic is my mom. Uh, she has always been the voice of reason. She's very practical. I think I've internalized that to some degree. But beyond that, I also feel like sometimes you're always carrying this voice in your mind. It's telling you, it's helping you make decisions. It's telling you right from wrong. And I feel like sometimes if I really try to listen to it, it is my mom's voice. Like it may be saying things different than she said, but the actual sound is my mom's voice. And she's telling me how to live in, do your best, don't be mediocre, try harder, you could have done better, apologize to this person. It's so much of that. You belong to the world, you have to be a good girl, do better.
we've all lived with that. It's a good girl syndrome.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you don't realize it because my mom also taught me to be a rebel. She was like, wear shorts and wear whatever clothes you want. Don't have children. Don't get married. Date multiple people before it was a thing. That was always her. So it's very rebellious and she is very rebellious. But somehow I feel like we can't fight the good girl conditioning. It's like the odds are against us. You just can't fight it.
But I think it's so deeply entrenched like into our DNA as women. I think it's not more of a good girl problem, it's more of a woman problem. Like
Yeah.
I feel like that also has its own place in the entire scheme of things. But I do feel like because we tend to by default settings give more, nurture more, like that's our first response to anything that happens, and to to on the outside. It's just our wiring. It's just our wiring. So it comes from there as well. And then it's like generations and generations of that wiring. And I think now women are like figuring it out and we are rewiring ourselves, and what it means to also, like how you mentioned in the last podcast, that you're taking care of yourself and like your supplements and stuff, and it's just like we're waking up to this.
Okay, so now that we know right from wrong, what were things that you were actually praised for? What was appreciated?
Good looks, and good looks. Yeah, like I think that's one thing that I was praised for. Everywhere I would go, whether it's with friends or family, my mom would just love to decorate me. Like I was a project for her. Like everything has to be matching, it needs to be neat. And her aesthetic was also good because she was also like very fond of like art and stuff, and she would also make me wear like clothes, and she would stitch clothes for me, like herself with on the sewing machine. Like she would do it herself, like every dress. And she also continued doing it for the other girls who were born in the family. But it's one thing that I was like pointed out for.
For me, I don't know why I can't shake my mom, but I think my mom always told me, Ananya, you're a people's person. My parents were both working, and I was raised by my childhood friend's mom. All of us childhood friends would hang out together, and it was again this community living situation. And I feel like I could get along with anyone, from a really old person to a young person. I never wanted to play with toys. I just wanted to be with people. And I think that has continued in so many ways. I'm still that person. I just need to be a social being. And with that comes kindness, empathizing, being able to listen to what someone else is going through, relate with them. I think that's where I am still at. That's what I'm still praised for. And then what were you punished for? Or what was discouraged, not allowed?
Oh my god, I was just randomly beaten up, yeah, as a kid. I told you, like, it's my family's like love and hate thing, and it's just like suddenly, like, mom is angry and she's just beating me up.
Thrashing! Thrashing!
I can't, like, if I tell you, if I give you examples, I mean, they'll just take her and put her behind the bars.
No, please don't take
Let's
me.
not. Let's not. So I will refrain from giving examples. But yeah, like there was no reason. I mean, even if I were a good child, I would still be like, you, I will show you today. Come here.
I think that's the story of every.
Yeah.
That's the story of
Like,
every Indian household.
So I remember this one time because, like I mentioned, the joint family thingy, and I was really young. I was a very small kid, and my cousin told my mom that I have called him Ullu ka patta or something, and she got so upset. And I hadn't done it. I still remember. Like, I was literally a baby, but my mom got so upset with me. She put a spoonful of red chili in my mouth, and it was actually like this. It scarred me for life.
Yeah.
Like, I was punished for something I did not do, but like, of
Yeah.
course, like, I was fed all the chocolate in the world after that. But like, random punishments, bro. Like, for what reason? असली चीजों के लिए punishment दो ना, but like for random things. So,
Yeah.
I think I had only one thing that I was always yelled at for, hit for, which was lying. I don't know why I used to lie so much as a child. About things I didn't need to lie about, white lies. Did you eat? Like, if I got a chocolate after school, I'd say no, I didn't. Things I didn't need to be afraid of. And then my mom was always like, lying is the worst thing you can do. You have to be honest. And she would make me do everything from promises, going to mandir, vachan, everything. She tried every trick in the book, but it only went with age. It only went when a natural moral compass kind of kicked in, where you realized that, okay, this is just not the kind of person you want to be. But as a kid, I couldn't understand it. I couldn't fathom it. There was no prefrontal cortex.
How were you punished? Beaten up? Thappad?
One chaped. Thought.
But I think there was still a valid reason for her mom to do that to her.
नहीं, valid reasons मैंने भी दिए हैं.
Okay then.
Of course. इतनी भी boring नहीं थी now that I look back at it, but
Yeah.
maybe one day we'll call my mom to chat.
She'd be our first guest. Okay, let's move on to the next. This is us going into something old but something new. From your childhood, what is one thing you've kept in your heart, something that you loved, something that's still very much in you?
So I don't know if it's a good thing or not, but like my resting bitch face.
That'll never go till your dying day.
Yeah.
You'll have a resting bitch face.
It's like, I used to get a lot of grief for it. Like,
Yeah.
smile. Why aren't you smiling? Why don't you say hello? Why don't you do namaste? And all
Yeah.
that. I was just like, And I think I've never stopped it. And I'm very like selective about the people. I'll probably just look like this and walk off even if I know somebody. So still like continues. I'm not ashamed of it. That's me.
I love your resting bitch face.
I love it.
I can't. Now Sakshi is that. Like, if you
Yeah.
change it, you won't be Sakshi anymore.
But I haven't seen that in a while.
First, half an hour back. See the roll?
See now?
Like this?
Like this.
That's just, yeah. It's
Okay, you, Bhavna.
I think it's mainly not taking life seriously.
For me, it's my love for food. I live, eat, breathe food. I did as a child. In my house, there was only one conversation. Lunch में क्या खाओगे? Dinner में क्या खाओगे? Lunch के time, decide dinner. Weekend, let's go, let's do this. Let's go all the way to Matunga, have a thali. Let's go here. Even our travel is planned by what we want to eat. That's how it's been at home. That's how I am. That's how my younger sister is. That's never changing.
Yeah.
It's food, food, food.
Nice.
Okay, next prompt, and this one might be tough. I'm going to give you a sentence. You fill in the gap, okay? I thought everyone dash until I grew up.
Had it together.
People don't have it together.
That's another part of being human.
Okay, you?
I thought everyone is genuinely a good human being until I grew up together. Like there can be like evil people. Like like they don't want to do work on themselves. Like they understand. Sorry, they understand that this is something that they can't do, so they choose evil. Like I feel like that is
I never believed in Nazar, but now I do.
yes. So it's a thing. I mean,
So I thought everyone in every home shares finances until I grew up. I had no idea that there can be relationships and families in which you have to kind of split things. And I've learned now that financial independence is everything. Like maybe in my house it was not didn't happen in a bad way, but now I've realized that maybe that is a bubble that needs to burst.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to ask, each of us are going to ask a few questions to one another about core memories. So I'm going to go first, and I want to ask you something someone said to you that stuck with you forever.
I think this episode is fully about my mom. But so I started dating when I was very young. My first boyfriend, now husband, I started dating at 13 and a half. And obviously, it's a very young age to be dating. My mom said to me, I told her, and she said to me only 3 things. One, your body is a temple, treat it that way. And the second thing she said to me was, don't let anyone decide for you what you're going to do.
Yeah.
Like, basically, don't take anyone's shit. Like, you do you. And it really stayed with me that, a boy or a partner shouldn't start getting controlling. You should still have your own identity. And last thing she said was use protection, which I think is words to live by.
Yes, 100%. Very, very important piece of information.
okay, my turn to ask. I'll ask you, Sakshi. A tiny thing someone did that made you feel very loved and you still feel grateful for it.
So basically, I was never good at academics, and I always struggled and stuff. And I just, this was during 12th boards, right before that, like pre boards or something, and I was really bad at maths, okay, and it used to give me a really hard time. I remember, so my brother had gone off to Singapore for his studies. My dad was traveling at that time, so it was just mom and me. And I had like my maths exam approaching, and I was in a very bad state. Like I had no idea कि मैं survive कैसे करूँगी ये चीज़. But I remember my brother's entire group came over, and my brother's not here. He was studying, so but his school friends, like they just still came over. And they saw that choti behan, like she's miserable and whatever, and they were just like, what, just skip it, like just don't go, like we can't see you like this, like it's not such a big deal. 2 years later, 5 years later, this is not going to matter to you, just skip it. Like I skipped the exam. I was miserable. I was like, I couldn't sleep, I couldn't eat, it was a really hard time for me. But that gesture, for them to just come and make me feel loved and all of that, it was just I can't ever forget that. It was really nice.
Yeah, that's sweet.
Yeah,
Sweet.
it was really sweet. And like for your friend's younger sister, who does it? So like good bunch of guys.
Next,
Yeah.
you ask her next question.
Okay. So what's your dream job be?
I think I've had many dream jobs. I'm still not in one of them. Maybe. I think that will be the actual dream job I'll land into. Love to try it one time, but no, sorry. My dream job is, I was actually being a surgeon. I wanted to cut open people and fix them. Okay, I'll ask you, Ananya. What's your first real heartbreak?
I think my first dog, her name was Waffle. She died when she was only 4 days old in our house. She was obviously 45 days old when she came to us, and then 4 days after. So she was 50 days. She had parvo. It was a situation of bad breeders, which is a very common situation. And now, obviously, that was very difficult. We had hoped a lot for this dog. All of us as a family were getting her, and it taught me what grief actually is in many ways. And now, of course, we only adopt, we don't shop, because you are paying with your wallet, and breeders are horrible. They're
Yes.
horrible to dogs.
Yeah.
And if you're actually a dog lover, you're not going to go to a breeder.
Yeah. True.
Okay, so my next question is for Sakshi. Tell me about a time you felt completely alone, or like your first experience of grief.
Okay, so this might be a little deep, but so my mom was clinically depressed, when I was really young. We were kids when this happened, and at that point of time, mental health wasn't a big deal. So, wasn't a deal at all actually.
It was always a deal.
It was
It was just never accepted.
heard of. It
Yeah.
was never heard of, it was never accepted, all of that. So she was going through that, and my brother at that point of time was in, and my brother is like my best friend. He's always been, and he had left for Singapore that very year. My mom had lost my Nana ji that year, and she was going through a really tough time, and at that point of time she'd taken like an overdose of pills, and I was 15 or 16, I remember, and she was in the hospital in the ICU for like a couple of days, and I didn't have my brother with me, and I was told by everybody, all my elders, that don't tell Karan because he'll not be, he won't take it very well, he's not here. And I was just like going through this whole time, and I'm like, how can I not tell my brother? But then I did actually end up calling him. I was so lonely. I was just like, this, I can't do this. Like, I am here, like, I'm looking at my mother like this, and I'm, this is, I can't go through this alone. So I felt like really helpless. But I did pick up the phone and I called up my brother, and I did what I had to do. And that was, I felt like that hit me really hard.
This is the whole reason why I feel like it's so difficult to do life without a sibling.
Just
Rapid fire round.
Rapid fire, nothing elaborate, nothing like no explanations or descriptions or anything. I'm going to ask questions and you will answer in one word. And we all have to answer this because it's like one word. So, your vibe in school, Bhavna. One word.
Distracted.
Jesse Jessie koi nahi.
वो मैं थी.
That was me.
That was so me. I pull out a childhood photo.
I had glasses, braces.
Yeah, not me. Just the frizz.
Your one word?
Confused.
I think we fall in the same category. Distracted, confused.
Yeah.
Okay, nickname you hated.
Beanie. It's my
Initials.
Yeah. I didn't hate it, but like it was just like ridiculous after a point. It's not like hated. Like hate is a strong word that way.
I didn't have a nickname.
Mine was Nancy.
What?
Hated it.
Nancy is
Or I can't stand Anu. If someone calls me Anu,
Oh my god, no.
I sound like I cannot.
My nickname was just Malik because there were too many Sakshis.
one word to describe puberty.
Hairy.
Drama.
I was gonna say drama. I'll say then at your own risk.
Okay, favorite childhood meal?
Dal chawal.
Puri aloo.
White chana chawal.
First celeb crush.
Easy.
I know yours.
Ritik.
Ritik, it's Ritik. Of course, it's Ritik.
We should you should do posters of Hrithik now.
Yeah.
I did. My entire room was full of Hrithik Roshan. Like मेरे बेचारा भाई यार, he took so much for me.
Who's yours, Ananya?
Troy Bolton.
I've never heard of him. मुझे पता था कोई अंग्रेजी नाम लेगा.
Once again, it's from High School Musical.
नहीं, मुझे नहीं पता.
ये सब तो देखा ही नहीं हम.
बड़े हैं तुमसे बहुत उम्र में.
Fine, whatever.
शाहरुख खान.
Shah Rukh Khan?
No way. No,
Why
nice.
did you laugh?
I like him. King Khan यार.
Obviously.
हाँ.
Like every Indian, most Indian girl, like not them.
What was your fashion like as a kid?
Cool. Cool. Like I would do Western very properly. I would do Indian also very properly, and it would be stylish. Like that was one thing that my mom made sure of. Like I think I said that earlier also.
I look like a joker.
My fashion as a kid was do fit aa jaye.
Also mine, like when after hitting puberty.
Favorite game to play with your friends?
Ghar.
Dark room. Ultimate favorite.
Hide and seek and kitchen.
So I don't think I played a lot with my friends, but I used to play a lot with Barbie, and the favorite pastime would be to just make dresses for Barbie.
I have such a bone to pick with Barbie.
Why am I not a fashion designer, guys?
Just look at us, like we're only. It's so true, right? That for women, like I'm sure if there were 3 boys here, they'd give completely different answers.
Yeah. But
And that's where this good girl thing comes
yeah,
from.
like for me it was always like hide and seek or chain or all of these games.
Yeah.
I also used to play Ooch Neech ka Papada.
वही सब game.
Papada hi na?
पापड़ा.
If it was my dad, he would have said Pittu.
हाँ.
I
And
never
वो वाला
played
कौन
Pittu.
सा है? वो बड़ी I used to find it very irritating क्योंकि बार वो उठो बैठो थप.
Oh, Kho-Kho.
Kho-Kho,
I
yeah.
love Kho-Kho.
I also
Overweight child, yeah. I couldn't get up and run.
So
I
honestly,
never
like
played any of this. Badminton, carom, ludo, didn't do.
Same. Hide and seek, chain, pakram pakrai. That's it.
Dhappa.
Okay.
Amazing.
So I think this was really fun, guys. I think we have a lot of insights about our childhood, and the last thing I really want to ask you that if you had met me and Bhavna, or like we met each other when we were kids, how do you think that friendship would have been like? I think I want to start.
Go.
I will answer my own question. I don't think I would have been friends with you.
I don't think I would have been friends with
You
you.
guys would not have been friends with me. You would have hated me.
I don't think I would have been friends with you guys.
Especially you, because you're so much younger.
I would have not ever been able to get over the Bombay Delhi thing. So I would have never been
same.
able to be friends with you.
You would have walked past us. I would have probably just been in my resting bitch face and been like,
Oh, I think I would have hated you both.
same, 100%. No two ways about it. तो school से कौन सी है? Really? I'm not friends with you.
No, it's not so much with me about school, but it's about like vibes.
Vibes, everything.
So we had to find us as adults.
Yeah. makes
There's
sense.
the right time and place for everything.
We are more patient towards each other, more tolerating.
Okay, guys.
Okay, folks, that's a wrap from us. Today we unpacked a little bit about what we were like as kids, but we promise a lot more adult conversations.
100%.
See you all.
See you. Bye.